The Invader 1.
Alright guys, what's up? Invader 1 here again, and welcome back to Resurgence 3.0, the third episode. This is going to be the final one for the Resurgence Mastery. So this time we are going to go on Platinum, and what we're going to do is, we're going to use the Geth Plasma SMG, guys. And we are fighting against the Geth, which I don't know if I'm okay with doing again for this entire series. I don't know, we'll see, because the Geth force you to play a little differently. You can't run around a little bit too much as you like to because of all the stagger and stun lock and all that, but you know, still it was a little tough, but we got this one done. Geth Plasma SMG, and we are also using the Geth Engineer on this one. So we got the Geth Engineer, and we decided to do Fire-based Hydra because those are the only options we have available to us. So let's get into the gameplay. I want to talk about the build and talk about a few things, guys. So for those of you who have been watching and know what's going on here, guys, you should know that, well, we're doing the Resurgence Mastery Challenges, and it's kind of interesting because on Platinum, not all the weapons and not everything that is put into these challenges are quite ideal. So it actually makes it kind of like a little unique, a little different for us to kind of hit it off in Platinum. This time, though, I gotta be honest with you, we decided to pick the Geth to kind of do a Geth versus Geth fight, and it was rough. We actually nuked some of the spawns. We actually did everything that we could, and it still took 30 minutes. We did not do it like a speed run, of course. We didn't want to show you guys a speed run kind of gameplay because you guys will probably get bored by that. But at the same time, this video took so long because we're using the Geth Plasma SMG. Now, nothing against the Geth Plasma SMG, guys. I actually think it's a decent gun. I just don't like the way it kind of like builds up its shots. Like it has to, like, little by little, the fire rate has to kind of slowly build up, and that kind of it frustrates me a little bit. I like the Geth Plasma SMG for lower difficulties like silver. It's really good. I like it for bronze. It's really good. It's a lot of fun, and it's really good in applying ammo types because the fire rate is really good once it gets charged up, and you have a crap ton of ammo. So it's really, you could just keep on shooting over and on and on and on and on, and you like never run out. And so that's really good for a character like this, that, like, for example, the Geth Engineer, that takes advantage of also it being a Geth weapon, and you get a little bit of a damage boost, a little bit of a damage bonus. So that's a good thing. Now, there are quite a few different kinds of builds that I usually do for the Geth Engineer. This is a hunter mode less build. I personally prefer the one with the hunter mode. You guys have seen me do that build in the past, and I'll put a link to it as well in the description. But this is more of a build if you want to kind of survive a little bit more. You don't care for hunter mode. You just want to have your overload, your Geth turret. You want to do fire explosions. You want to do stuff like that, and you want to be a little tankier. Then that's fine. You can go right ahead with this kind of build where you strip hunter mode. You just go with the Geth turret. You go with overload, network AI, and advanced hardware. So let's get into that as well a little bit, guys, because I gotta tell you, this challenge, this challenge was a little tough. And before I, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about this before I get into the build. Playing against the Geth on Platinum, it's a totally different story than the other factions, and I'll tell you why. When I usually play with all the people that I play with, anybody who I game with, when we're playing Reapers, we're running around as if it's gold. We're not even like, there's no camping. We're to that level where we just play it as if it's gold. When it's collectors, pretty much the same thing. Cerberus, we get a little bit, a little hesitant because the first wave, there are engineers dropping turrets everywhere. So we're not rushing per se, but we're not camping in a spot. But when it comes to the Geth, because the first wave you get double primes, second wave you get triple primes, and then there are other waves that you get a prime with a Banshee, Phantom, etc. So it's really tough to kind of like, to kind of run around the way you want to run around the way you normally would with other factions, and that's normally why I don't pick Geth most of the time. I prefer actually fighting against the collectors on Platinum. I mostly fight against the Reapers. I would say if I had a preference to play on Platinum, it will probably be Reapers first, Collectors second, and then Cerberus third, and all the way at the end, all the way at the bottom would be the Geth. And that's because it's that kind of situation where you can't really. It's really tough to kind of go around when you have the Prime's drone ball just stunning you and just messing you up. And there are moments that it stuns you. You're there, and that stun, it pushes you right into the loving arms of a sweet Banshee. Because the Banshees just love you. They just love you so much. They just want to show you how much they love you. So you'll have moments like that, or they will, the Prime's drone will stun you, and so just gently, softly, with a nice little loving tap, push you into. And guess what? Yes. Push you into a Phantom's lovely, sweet, sweet, warm embrace of a blade. So those are the problems that I have, because I don't always want to be hugged by a Banshee. I don't always want to feel a Phantom's blade in my gut. And I don't always want to be stunned into it. It's like I like to play a little hard to get. I don't want to be forced into these things. And, that's what happens with the Geth. The Geth are just, they force you into the loving arms of a Banshee. They're like the, I don't know, I think they're kind of like, how can I say, the bodyguards or the pimps of the Banshees and Phantoms. And I kind of have a problem with that, guys. I do not support pimping. I really don't support it at all. I don't support forced anything. I prefer to just be lovingly go into a game, run around, kill stuff, and have fun. So that's my only problem with the Geth, that they kind of stun you into things. They force you into situations that you don't want, and afterwards you kind of feel violated. You almost feel as if they took something away from you. And in all honesty, after this game, I did feel kind of like that, and it was a little unfortunate. They took my dignity a little bit, but it happens. That's what happens when I play against the Geth. So that's my only problem with them. Usually when I like to play Platinum, like I said before, I play Reapers first. The Reapers are the easiest to just run around on. You could just, there are Banshees and they force you into things, yes, but, you could just run around and have fun. The Cerberus, just, they're a little. They're more tactical, and you get tons of turrets in even the first wave, and you get tons of Phantoms, and the Atlases now have 4 shots. They drop you, or just one shot would destroy your entire shields. The second shot literally leaves you with like 0.05% of health, and then the next shot you're done. Especially with a character like this, guys. This character, which is the Geth, they don't have any health. They're robots. They're freaking robots, so there's no health here. The amount of health that they have is so tiny for example, for the Geth Engineers, 313 health. That's nothing. I don't even know if that's one shot of a Geth Plasma Cannon. I don't even know what that is. And then the shields can go close to like 900. Well, right now, the way I have it, I have 938 shields. That's because I didn't get to max out this character. So, I did have this character maxed out in this gameplay. I just have promoted later. But when you max it out, you could go a little slightly over 1,000 shields. Then it's better to have something like a cyclonic modulator, etc. And that's a good thing. Now, what you want to do with this guy, this is what we're doing. You notice it a lot. I have the Geth turret spec'd out so that in the evolution rank 6 we have a flamethrower. Alright, so the flamethrower works kind of like the same way as the Vorcha's flamethrower, as the Geth Trooper's flamethrower, where you could set up fire explosions. So, let's go through that. You can cast the Geth turret, and as soon as it starts doing its flame thing and burning up the enemies and setting them up little by little, once you see that they look like they have a little bit of a flame around them, and once you see that they're, it looks like there's a little fire and then they're warm and cuddly in there, then you can use your overload to, set up a fire explosion, detonate it. And we are also using incendiary rounds because that also helps as well. So we're using incendiary rounds and we're also detonating the fire explosion. that we get through the ammo type as well. So we're doing two kinds of fire explosions in this game. That's the way you want to play with this guy. And if we were using stronger weapons, we could be doing a lot more damage, and a build like this actually works quite well. If we were using something like a particle rifle, or Harrier, or even a saber, or Geth Plasma shotgun, something that's stronger, we can apply ammo types a little better, and kill a little bit faster. We would probably be able, we would have been able to finish this challenge a little faster. So at the moment, no, this game still took a little long, but we were still able to do it. And I gotta be honest with you, towards the later waves, we were just having such a difficult time. Especially, this is a map that is so open. Mind you, we only had two maps that we could choose for this challenge. We could only choose Condor, or we could choose Hydra. So for Hydra, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, this was tough. It was fun. I mean, it's always doable. All these challenges, they're not something that we can't do. It's not something that we can't complete. But it's one of those kind of situations that the Geth Plasma SMG is cute. It's nice. It's tiny. Maybe you ladies like the Geth Plasma SMG. It's very fashionable. You can put it in your pocket. That's really cool. But it just doesn't do the amount of damage you want it to do on Platinum. And pretty much the way we're using it here is that we're using it to apply the ammo type into the enemy, because we have a lot of ammo, and because of it does a good job in applying it. So incendiary rounds 4, hey, props to you. Thank you for being around, because we truly needed you and wanted you in this game. So as you can see here, guys, this is the one thing I got to tell you though about the Geth. I do have to say this though. This is the one thing I do respect about fighting against the Geth. I was playing a game last night, and it was with a buddy of mine that he had not been playing Mass Effect 3 in a while. He was playing another game, etc. Then all of a sudden, we decided to play. So we decided to play on No Platinum. That's what we usually play now. So we're playing on No Platinum, and we get Geth on Dagger Hazard. So that was really interesting. We got Geth on Dagger Hazard. Now, what's interesting about that is that when you play against the Geth, it forces you to really be tight with your teammates. It is the one faction that actually, if you really want to get good with team synergy, you really want to get good with being able to work in fire squads, either 3-man teams or 4-man teams or 2-on-2. You have two guys working on one side, two guys flanking on the other. Then fight against the Geth, because the Geth will force you to think a little bit more tactical. It'll force you to actually work with your teammates, and that's what happened last night. We were playing this game, and then we literally, because sometimes when you're playing against the Reapers, against the Collectors, you can rage gel. You can just go right ahead, I'm going to just use my gel right now and whatever. With the Geth, that's not the case, because you never know. You're going to constantly be getting down, because you're going to constantly get stunned. So you have to kind of stop and say, well, let me think through. Is my teammate next to me? You got to really work as a team. And now, mind you, this is a co-op game. This is a team game. This is one of those kind of games that you should be working together with your squad. So because of that, some people, it depends on your game, right? Like right now, most of the people who play with me, they're already to that level that they've kind of mastered the game. Not everyone, they mastered the game to the sense that we can all run around and not even have any kind of communication, and we're all fine, or we'll take care of each other, or if I'm in one side of the map, we'll come to the other and pick up somebody. It's totally fine. We can actually manage whatever corner we're on the map. So that's really cool. But if you're really working with a team to kind of create that team synergy, fight against the Geth on Platinum, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because you cannot go around doing the Rambo thing. You cannot. It's just, you could do it with some characters. If you take the Crow Guard, that's fine. But guess what? The Geth faction now has the bombers. Because the bombers were introduced, you can no longer do the crazy solos that you used to do back in the day. And guess what? Matter of fact, one of the famous solos, guys, which I love. You guys didn't know this, Xcal. I'm definitely a fan of Xcal. He's a good guy. He's got a whole bunch of. I don't know about him. Actually, let me rephrase. I don't know about him being a good guy. I just know that he's a really cool gamer, and we communicate very rarely, like a long time ago, like maybe once. That was about it. But he knows I'm a fan, and just recently we linked up one of our solos together, and the solo that we linked up was his famous solo, which is the hero of Tuchanka, the one that he goes and he solos platinum on Ghost versus the Geth, and that was an amazing solo, man. XCal did a great job. It was awesome. It was just so impressive, and it kind of inspired a lot of other gamers to really do their platinum solos with the Krogard, use the Reegar, Incendiary rounds 4, and have all that kind of those barriers that the Krogard has, and be able to survive and just wreck the platinum Geth just like that. But now the thing is that you can't at this moment, because with the Geth bombers were introduced, you can't really do that kind of solo the same way. You can. You can to a certain extent. You just gotta be a little bit more careful. The Geth bombers stun you. The Geth bombers are constantly attacking you. They are all over the place, and the Vanguard charge glitches out. Guys, you know how many times I have a Vanguard, and I am literally focused on the Geth bomber, and he just doesn't charge. And my character's literally there, just standing there, just looking at the Geth bomber, like, yeah, that's nice. It's a nice little robot. Looks like a little pet. He wants to pet it, But in all honesty, it doesn't happen. Then I'll stay there looking like a dummy, and then the Geth bomber comes over and just carpet bombs my behind. And that's not fun. I am gonna be honest with you. I like carpet bombing. I like carpet bomb. It's pretty cool in games and stuff like that. But I personally do not like to get carpet bombed. I just don't. In all honesty, I don't like bombs, carpets like all up in my behind. The way these Geth bombers do it. So with the introduction of the Geth bombers, it has made the Geth a lot harder. And not only that, it has also made it difficult to camp the Geth. Now, I'm going to say something about this. A lot of you guys may be probably curious about, what I think about camping, because in the past, in the beginning when I started out, I was teaching some guides as to how to manage platinum, because when platinum came out, that's how I started, guys. I didn't start out to show off some videos or talent or anything. I started doing videos for the N7 Spec Ops group just to help teach how to do platinum without cheating, without glitching, to be able to handle it. So I first taught a team approach, which seemed a little campy, yes. We were we were funding the enemies in one area, but we were working as a team, as a unit, and the whole goal behind those first videos was to teach you guys how to play the game as a team and to get comfortable enough with platinum to the point that then you can finally start moving outside of that and working together, but more as more in the sense that you can actually go out of your comfort zone, go out of your campsite, and you could actually attack the enemies and take them head on. So if you see a lot of these, like for example the speed runs that we do, or if you see a lot of the other gameplays, they're no longer like that. I have not done any campy gameplay in a long time on platinum, and mostly all my gameplay is on platinum, guys. So the whole point of that gameplay was to kind of show team synergy at first, kind of show to work together as a team, to actually, funnel the enemies together, handle the map, and do a few tactics that'll get you comfortable with the enemy so you could understand each wave to wave, how to handle them. Now, once you get comfortable with that, look at me and my buddy are two of us here, but we're together. It's a little tight. We're getting bombarded a little bit, but you notice there's two of us together, and then on the other side there's two close to each other. So what we're doing is we're still running around, we're still doing a few things, but we're making sure that we're paying attention to each other, we're communicating. Sometimes we're cursing, sometimes I don't know, some of the other guys talk about my mom, and that's not right, that's kind of messed up. You guys should feel sorry for me, please, and just send me a heartwarming gift or something about that, because I feel it hurts me sometimes. So anyways, so moving on. You guys, after those first videos that I created, guys, and I was teaching you guys how to do platinum, how to handle it and all that, and how to handle the maps and understand each wave of each faction, then it is up to you to feel more comfortable with each wave, feel more comfortable with how each enemy, what kind of animation each enemy has. Sometimes I've been told, well, Invader, it looks like you could actually go through a Banshee. Every time you run by a Banshee, I'm like, I can't even believe you're doing that. It's because I know the Banshee's animation. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna get picked up. It happens. Sometimes you don't notice. Sometimes the Banshee comes through a wall. You didn't, you just didn't hear it. You didn't see it. You were fighting an enemy. It happens. But if you see the Banshee, you know where she's at, and you know her animation, you could troll the living daylights out of her. The same thing with the Prime. The Prime, you understand his animation. Sometimes I'll just keep on destroying the Prime's drone just to force him to actually keep on casting out, his turret, keep on casting out his drone, because that'll give the rest of the team a chance, an opportunity to continue shooting at the Prime. Because then he has to take out a moment and cast out his drone, cast out his ball, cast out his turret. So that's the reason why a lot of times I'll actually just take that job of, I'm going to continue destroying every pet that he puts out there. So, that's what's up with that. Now, team synergy, guys. We're using Geth Engineers here. Geth Engineers are very weak. Very, very weak in the sense of shields. But you put a Cyclonic 4 or a Cyclonic 3, or if you don't even want to do that, you're playing on silver, you're playing on bronze, you're playing on gold, you'll still be fine as long as you understand how to, protect yourself, as long as you understand how to work with the turret as well. So a little bit of advice. What I constantly do is anywhere that I'm going to go, I'm casting my turret first, so that if I get damaged or I get shot at before I get to that corner that I want to get to, before I get to the cover, the turret is already ready to heal me instantly so that I'm not dropping all the time. So that's one thing. The other thing that I do is I set up my overload the way I set it up here so that I could drop enemies, especially enemies that are unshielded, or drop the shields of enemies like marauders, etc., and rocket troopers, etc., and be able to drop them. Now, let me explain that. So for overload, the way I have it spec'd out, rank 4 I have chain overload, so I can hit multiple enemies at once. So that's a good thing. Okay, hit one additional target within 8 meters with 60% less damage. Awesome. Rank 5. This is very important to me. Some people don't like it. I love it. I go for Neuroshock. Okay, incapacitate weak organic enemies for short duration. Now, this is organic, so that's like husks. These are unshielded marauders. This is troopers, Geth troopers, Cerberus troopers as well. And if they're unshielded, the enemies are unshielded, the organic enemies, you'll be able to drop them. Now, that does not count for armor targets. Okay, Dragoons, what it does with Dragoons, it does not drop them, but what it does do with Dragoons is you see that they kind of stumble for a moment. They kind of look like they're about to throw up. It looked like somebody punched them in the gut. And then they kind of do their little thing, looking like as if they're not gonna get back up and try to destroy you. So that's what it does to them, but it doesn't drop them. Armor targets, it doesn't drop them, so don't think about that. It's not going to drop a Banshee. You're not going to see a Banshee hurl over and be like, oh my god, their overload just totally dropped me. I'm so sorry. No, it's not going to happen, okay? It's only weaker organic enemies. And rank 6, I go for shield damage, guys, because this is multiplicative. It actually increased damage to barriers and shields by an additional 100%, so it makes Overload so powerful. The damage on Overload is not great, but the great thing is that it's really good against shields, and it's a great detonator. Okay, it's a detonator of tech powers and tech ammo type. Sorry. So let's say if you have incendiary rounds, you apply it onto the enemy, you could detonate with Overload. Let's say you have disruptor rounds, you apply Overload on the enemy, you could do a tech burst. So there's stuff like that you can do with Overload, which is absolutely great. Now for network AI with this guy, what I do is I put damage and capacity because I want his overload to be a little bit more powerful. Although in reality, you're fine with going with weapon damage, because if you pop a weapon on this guy, then you're going to get some good weapon damage bonuses, and I definitely recommend that as well. So rank 5, I didn't go for headshots because I'm not really going for headshots with this guy, but I went for power damage again. And on rank 6, I recommend to go for weapon damage for sure. You get an additional 10% weapon damage, and you get the Geth weapon damage bonus by 5%. In this situation, that's what we got, because we got the Geth Plasma SMG, so it totally works, and it totally helps. Now, for advanced hardware, which is the fitness, you could either go for tankiness, which is something that most people go for, or you could go for the melee bonuses. What a lot of people don't understand, and this is something that I really kind of need to get for you guys, is it's because I did all this footage of Geth melee builds, and I just haven't put it together because it's complex. It's a lot of gameplay. It's a lot. I gotta just strap it all together. So, but one of the things is if you do go for the Geth melee, understand that the Geth Engineer has one of the most awesome melees, very powerful. And if you put something like a Strength Enhancer and you put something like the Juggernaut shield, where you get some shields and you get some melee damage, then it's really really good. You use Overload to stun the enemy, and then you go right next to them and you do your Geth melee. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is heavy melee, not his light melee. Don't do his light melee. His light melee is ridiculous. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. It looks like he's kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks like he's just like a little weird. He's like, hey, like I'm just gonna slap you in the face. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. His light melee, but his heavy melee is very powerful. Not only is this light melee so powerful that you can kill enemies. I think it does over 1,000 damage. I'm gonna be honest with you, because 2 heavy melees on platinum, you can kill a phantom with the Geth Engineer. Usually what I do is I'll strip the Phantom of her barriers with Overload. I'll get next to her and do a heavy melee, and I'll stay there. Or if I need to move away, then I'll move away and do another heavy melee on her. But you can actually stay there next to her. She's right in the center. Not in the center, but a little, almost, even in the center of your heavy melee. Because when you do a heavy melee, it's kind of like it looks like a round ball, kind of like Terminator 2, and Terminator would come in and then he would come from back in time, this ball of like electricity. There you go. See this, here's the melee. So now this melee is so powerful, but what it also does is staggers the enemy. So let's say you have a Phantom next to you, you have a Dragoon, and they're like right there in a corner. You could actually corner them and they can't do anything. Let's say like right here, I'm here in a corner. I got a Phantom right there. I do my heavy melee. She's just constantly being staggered back and little by little being killed. So you can do little tricks like that. You have an enemy in the corner, do your heavy melee, and boom. The only risk is that another enemy from nowhere can just shoot you down, because this drains your shields. So you have to be very careful as to how you use the Geth Engineer's heavy melee, because if not, you'll get totally dropped. So that's that when it comes to the melee, guys. And I like the melee, but on an open map like this, it's very risky. Only did it a few times, just for the just for the heck of it, just for fun. Now the other thing is communication, guys. If you're playing against the Geth and you're doing this kind of, if you're doing this kind of challenge, look how long it took us. Look how long it took us because of the stupid Geth Plasma SMG. It's not a stupid gun. I like it. I actually do like it, but it's just not a platinum weapon. It's just not the kind of gun you want to rock on platinum. I'll rock it on gold any day. I'll rock it on silver and bronze, but it's just, it's not a platinum weapon. But still, we actually still made it work, and, we communicated quite a bit. In here, we have Caxes, who I've gamed with him some time ago, but he wanted to get in on these challenges. Actually, by the way, guys, I have opened up these challenges. This is not the only video. There are a lot more videos because we have more challenges coming. I'm going to finish this series, and I have another series as well that I have coming, and we're going to, at the same time, we're going to be looking at other games as well, get ready for Mass Effect 4. So, yes, Mass Effect 4 when it comes out. So now the other thing is, guys, that going back to communication a little bit, you definitely want to be in communication with your team. The Geth bring that out, and that's what I recommend if you want to get some kind of team synergy with your pals. Your pals don't really understand how to play the game. Well, play against the Geth, because you'll be forced to kind of work together, because you can't just run around all the time with the Geth. You can, but you have to be very, very careful as to how you go about it. So that's that, guys. And as you can see here, we're all in communication as to what's going on with all the devices and everything, and it got really rough. It really got really rough, because this is the thing: the Banshees kind of push the mark in every platinum game. You could be camping in one area, but when the Banshees come in, they push you. They push the entire team to move from side to side. From one side to the other, from one corner to the other, so you have to constantly be in the move, and when you are in the move, you want to be able to communicate with your team, you want to be able to say what's up. Now, if you're in a pug match, that's not really going to happen unless people have mics. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was playing on the PS3, yes, I know, you guys surprised, yeah. I was playing on the PS3, my Mass Effect 3 account the other night, and most of the people don't have mics. I noticed that. It's very rare. What I notice when I play on PS3, and it's very few. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with the culture on a PS3 that there's no mics. On the Xbox, there are a lot of people who play mics. Usually, sometimes you get a lot of pug games either Pug Platinum or Pug Gold that you won't find anybody having a mic, but most of the time there's at least one person with a microphone, at least one, and that one person can at least say something or communicate what's going on or what's up. So that's a good thing. So anyways, that's that, guys. So this is Resurgence 3.0. We kicked its butt, or more like it kicked our butt. So you can see this was really tough. And again, consumables, teamwork. In a situation like this, you can't just rage gel every moment. Right now, if I would have been rage gelling from wave 1 or wave 2 or whatever, if I got dropped, then I wouldn't even have enough gels to finish this match. So communication is very important, guys, and you should be able to work together that way. And be able to learn how to use your ops packs too. With your ops packs, sometimes when you're off host, it's a bit of a problem because they just you use them, but they don't kind of give you your invulnerability at the moment. But you do get, when you use your ops packs, know that you do get a little bit of invulnerability for a moment, invincibility, I guess, for like a brief second. The enemy can shoot at you and everything, and you're kind of invincible. So just understand that when you're in a really, really tough situation, make sure they use it not when you think you're about to die, just like almost right before you think you're about to die, so that you'll be fine. Or if, like for example, here in a situation like this, I use it immediately so that I can have that invincibility, and they were shooting at me, got out of there. And that's just something good to know, especially when you're running into a situation that's really, really tough, and then you can get out. So yeah, guys, Resurgence 3.0, this was a tough one. This was a real tough one. There was a lot of cursing involved, not on my side, but you know, there was a lot of profanity, a lot of craziness, but we actually got to do it. So Resurgence 3.0, guys, we completed the entire Resurgence mastery, and yes, there are other characters that are in there. Yes, there's other stuff that we can do, and we'll finish them off in the other challenges as they do cross each other a bit. So now here's the build, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Road to All Banners. Invader 1 out.